Hi Gemini, welcome to your week ahead horoscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby, you know I love you for. So my readings are for your sun, moon, and ascendant. So whether you're a sun, moon, or rising sign Gemini, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to give you a more complete picture of how they speak to you and which part of you I resonate with as a reader. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week, you have the Devil card. All right, so you need to ask yourself this week, where is it that you are either overindulging or where is it that you are obsessing about something? It may be that this week you get a bee in your bonnet about something and you just can't seem to let it go. It happens to all of us, right? It's part of being human. We work through things, you know, we hold on to them until we can work through them, process them, and forget them. However, this week, you might find that that is a real challenge. And if I'm completely honest with you, remember the Devil card is about addictions. It's about things that we are, or things that we've convinced ourselves we are unconsciously tied to, which kind of says that in a way we give our power away to whatever it is that we're tied to, obsessing over, or addicted to. So this week, where is it that you are giving away your power? And more importantly, what are you prepared to do to get it all back? For your actions and options this week, you've got the Tower card, right? So you may be looking to upset the apple cart this week, and you know, me being me, the Aquarius, rebellious Aquarius that I am, usually I'm all for it. When you're shattering a paradigm, when you are coming into a new realization, when you're breaking out of a mold that's been imposed on you, it's a really good idea for you to break the mold. It's a good idea for you to upset the apple cart. However, this week, I do kind of feel like you might be trying to cut your nose off to spite your face. The Tower card is always a big realization, and this is in your actions and options. This is about you. It's about what you do. This week, you could have a big realization that maybe sends you into a bit of a tailspin. You know, what I would say to you on that front is you can either, my new saying that I'm absolutely loving that I came up with a while back is, you have to let it fuel you, don't let it rule you, right? And that is literally the size of it this week. Whatever this realization is, it may be about yourself. It may be about something that you've been doing unconsciously for quite some time. And you can either let that kind of send you on a bender, or you can stop yourself in your tracks and say, right, okay, that's cool. I acknowledge this and I'll move on from it. For your communications and conversations, you have the Page of Pentacles. So this suggests the Page of Pentacles coupled with the Devil card is literally the time of Capricorn. So what happened in January around that time this year, so late December going into January, what was taking place for you? It looks like you may either be revisiting this now, especially when it comes to work, when it comes to the profession. Very possible. And it suggests in a way as well that the next Capricorn season, which would be late December this year, is going to yield some form of a result. So this is kind of like a very long prediction. Pay attention to what's happening over the course of this week, because the chances are you may very well be revisiting it, or you've already visited it and you're going over it again. The thing is, it's about finding a way to break the pattern or break the cycle this week. There's something here that really does need to be observed on a personal level. Maybe this is your style of work. Maybe it's your style of communication with the people that you work with. Maybe it is the work that you do in general. Just something to be aware of for those of you that work for somebody else. There could be a challenge that comes up with the boss, with, you know, whoever's in charge. It may even be that there comes a problem with, you know, with your colleagues or your peers. The suggestion here is that you're of a certain mind when it comes to something, and you're not for the budging, which I actually think is a good, you know, it's a good place to be. I just feel like this week, you know, usually I'm on your side, you're a fellow air sign, right? But this week I kind of feel like something in your thinking, or certainly in your communications, needs to be adjusted. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're wrong, but it may be that the way that you're approaching this isn't necessarily the strongest way that you could do so. Don't put yourself at a disadvantage where you don't have to. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves in any way, shape or form, again, this really suggests that this week you could be, it's almost like you're it's kind of like one of those, you know, when you're a kid, right, and you see like you've got a square hole and you want the ball to go in, so you just kind of force it and you end up breaking something. This week could be that. If there is something in the workplace or with your business that just isn't the right fit, it doesn't matter how many times you try to force it, the chances are you will either end up doing more damage in the long run, or it's just not going to fit. This week there's no point in forcing it, because whatever you're trying to do is not going to go through. For your those of you that are retired or no longer working for any reason, this would be a good week for you to start thinking about what you are passionate about and what you may be wanting to start. So it doesn't have to be a business. For some of you this could be a hobby. You know that saying, like, I don't believe in the devil per se, but you know that saying, like, idle hands are the devil's playground. This could very well be that week where, you know, maybe you have too much time to think and, you know, it gets the better of you. Do something, find something to do. For your money and materials, you've got the 8 of Swords. This looks like a really challenging week for you guys when it comes to the money, when it comes to the finances. And it's interesting, so your ruler Mercury will go direct on the 20th, will station to go direct on the 20th. So by the time we get to the end of the week, it will be fully direct. Now, Mercury rules transactions, it rules money, the changing of hands of money, of finances, the transactional nature of commerce and business and all of those things. And as such, if you're feeling the pinch, or you're feeling kind of like hemmed in or stuck with what you can do or what you're, you know, you can maximize on, don't fret, it will lift. It's just that you're kind of at the, you know, you're at the shadow period, the shadow end, like, let's say, like the darkest moment is the hour before the sun comes up, right, as the saying goes. This could be the same with your finances this week. So, you know, at this moment in time, try not to you know, allow that hemmed in feeling to force you to explode in any way. Now, when it comes to your physical health and vitality, this would be your this would actually be all of the things that your specific sign rules of the body. So you know, your shoulders, your hands, even, you know, the I've forgotten the name. Is it your bronchioles, like that separate into the lungs? Those, you know, even, you know, certainly the respiratory aspect of, you know, the upper body. Let's say your hands, your fingers. Just be careful with all of those this week. Especially because you've got the Tower card and you've also got the Devil card. This is, you know, doing something haphazard, and with the Tower card, that's electricity. All right, so this week, please be careful around appliances, plugging things in, even if it's that you're doing something with the car. Anything that has, you know, something that can give you a jolt, please be careful this week. And then for your home and environment, quite frankly, it does look like the walls are closing in a little bit this week. I'm not going to lie. It's not the greatest week for you, I have to say. Last week was challenging, but this week looks like, whew, you know. And it's funny because I think 2016 coming into 2017, Geminis went through this massive, like, I don't know what was going on for you guys personally, but I can tell you in terms of the trends of the cards that kept coming out, Geminis were going through this huge sort of awakening and change of who they were. You know, like, it was just this massive sort of shifting energy. And then they kind of had a break from sort of the end of 2017 coming into 2019, 2020 actually. But it does appear that you guys are having some more challenges again. So, you know, just hang on in there. There are big changes taking place behind the scenes, I think, for you guys. And, you know, whenever that happens, there are always tight spots that you get into, right? For your love and relations, so this is great. For those of you that are in relationships or partnered, the relationship is where you can seek sanctuary and solace. This is where you're going to find the laughter and the joy that you have. For those of you that have children, this is a great week to spend with them. They will keep you bright, happy and buoyant. For those of you that have siblings, this is a great week to connect with your siblings. It's a good week for reaching out to them if they live at a distance as well, because they probably need your input or support as much as you do theirs. So, you know, lean on the family this week, because those are the things that are good. For those of you that are single, quite frankly, this could be an old friend that maybe you guys, you know, had like a little fling, or maybe you decided like, oh, you know what, it's nice and you know it's got a lot of potential, but I don't want to ruin the friendship. That may, I'm not saying it definitely is, but it may be back on the cards this week, or it's certainly in your mind and possibly in theirs as well. So just be aware of that if it comes up this week. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. I hope you have a better week than I am predicting. But if you do notice that these things are popping up for you, try to remember some of the things that I've, you know, given to try and alleviate some of the challenges that you might face. With that, take care and I'll see you soon.